Think about this for a second. How you listen to music is, well, just completely different from how your parents or even grandparents did.
Oh, massively different. For them, if you wanted a song, you had to own a thing.
Exactly, a physical thing, a big vinyl record, a cassette tape, or, CD. Now you just pull out your phone and boom.
And in seconds, you have access to pretty much any song ever recorded.
Mhm.
It's a huge shift from owning the plastic to just owning the access.
That's it. From analog, where sound was like a wave carved into that plastic, to digital, where it's all just computer files.
And that change didn't just make things easier. It completely changed how music is made, how it's shared, and what we even think it's worth.
And that's what we're going to get into today. The key digital moments that took music off the shelf and, well, put it everywhere all the time.
To really get this story, you have to start with the one file format that made it all possible, the MP3.
Right. Before the MP3, digital audio files were just huge. I mean, one song from a CD could be 50 or 60 megabytes.
Which was way too big for the internet back then, or for the tiny hard drives people had. So the real trick wasn't just making sound digital, it was learning how to shrink it.
How to compress it, yeah.
Exactly. The MP3 uses what we call lossy compression. Basically, scientists figured out that our ears can't actually hear everything.
Okay.
Yeah, like certain quiet sounds get hidden by lighter ones.
Mhm.
The MP3 algorithm is smart enough to just delete that stuff you wouldn't have heard anyway.
So it's a trade-off. You lose a tiny bit of sound quality that you can't even notice, but in exchange, the file becomes like 90% smaller.
And that solved the storage problem instantly.
Suddenly, you could fit your whole music library on a computer. And then a little later, in your pocket on a portable player. You went from, what, 15 songs on a CD to thousands?
That alone created a whole new culture of listening. But it also opened the door to digital piracy.
Right. With services like Napster, the files were finally small enough to share online.
And record sales just collapsed. The industry fought it for years, but you can't fight that level of convenience.
Which leads to the next big jump, right? Moving beyond files completely. Because even 1,000 songs in your pocket starts to feel limited.
It does, and you have to manage all of it. So the question became, why even own the files when you can just access everything?
Enter music streaming.
And that's a totally different model. It's the difference between buying a product and subscribing to a service.
So instead of buying a song, you pay a monthly fee.
And in return, you get instant access to these enormous libraries. We're talking over 100 million songs. You don't own them. You just play them over the internet.
The convenience is just off the charts. It saves all that storage space on your phone.
And the discovery tools are incredibly powerful.
Algorithms.
Yeah, the algorithms, they analyze everything you listen to, what time of day it is, what your friends like, and they suggest new music.
But they do more than just suggest, don't they? They actually shape what kind of music gets made.
They absolutely do. Artists now might write a song specifically to fit on a popular playlist because that's how you get noticed. The whole structure of the album is less important now.
And the business model is usually that free version with ads where you pay to get rid of them. And that model now basically runs the entire global music economy.
It does. But okay, that's how we listen. Let's switch gears. Because the digital revolution also totally changed how music gets made.
The big invention here is the digital audio workstation, or the DAW.
The DAW, right. It's the software you see producers using with all the sound waves on the screen.
In the past, recording music meant using these huge, expensive mixing boards.
And tape machines.
Yeah.
And if you made a mistake and cut the tape in the wrong place, that was it. The sound was gone forever. It was destructive.
But a DAW is different. It's visual. You can see all the different layers of sound, the drums, the bass, the vocals, and move them around.
You can edit, you can mix, you can undo any mistake with a click. It's non-linear.
So you no longer need access to $1 million studio. Anyone with a decent computer can make professional radio-quality music from their bedroom.
And they do. You hear about huge artists like Billie Eilish, whose biggest hits were made in her childhood bedroom. That's the power of the DAW.
And inside the DAW, you have all these amazing tools for actually creating sounds from scratch.
Right, things like synthesizers and virtual instruments. The synthesizer just generates an audio signal electronically. It can make a sound that's totally new, or it can imitate a real instrument.
And a virtual instrument is basically a software version of a real one, isn't it?
Exactly. It exists only inside the computer. A composer can use a simple keyboard to play the sound of a full orchestra, or a vintage piano, or a heavy metal guitar.
Which saves a ton of space and, I imagine, a ton of money. You don't have to hire 50 musicians for string section.
Not at all. And to make them sound real, these virtual instruments use what are called samples.
Sam.
Yeah, they're tiny, high-quality recordings of a professional actually playing that real instrument. The computer is smart enough to stitch those samples together so it sounds authentic.
Okay, so you have your bedroom studio, you've made your song. How do you get anyone to hear it?
And that brings us to the next massive shift. Social media.
Right. It's the new marketing engine.
Completely. You see it all the time.
Yeah.
A short little video clip with a catchy song goes viral, and suddenly it's a global hit overnight.
It's a huge advantage for independent artists, right? They don't need a big record label with a huge marketing budget anymore.
Not to get started, no. They can build a following just based on their talent and their online personality. In fact, the labels now watch social media stat shares, saves, to see who they should sign.
But there's a downside to
The
that.
speed of it all. Trends come and go so fast, you have to constantly feed the machine with new content just to stay relevant. It's a very different kind of pressure.
Speaking of pressure, let's talk about the big problem that's been around since the start of digital music. Getting paid.
Yeah, fairness and compensation.
Early on, piracy was the huge issue. But even now with legal streaming, are artists getting paid fairly?
It's a huge debate, and it all comes back to copyright. Copyright is just the set of rules that gives creators control over their work, and we have to respect it so artists can actually make a living.
The early lawsuits, like the one against Napster, basically set the rule that you have to pay creators.
Right, and streaming services do that now, but the payout for artists can be tiny. We're talking fractions of a penny for a stream, because the money gets split between the label, the publisher, and the streaming platform itself.
So it's still a really tough system for a lot of artists.
It is. And to fight illegal sharing today, they use things like digital watermarking, which hides a code in the audio file so you can track where it goes. It's a constant battle.
Okay, let's look at the hardware, the tools we actually use. For almost everyone, the smartphone has replaced the iPod or the Walkman.
Absolutely. Music is now just this constant background to everything we do, working out, commuting, studying.
And that drove a huge change in headphones. First, they became wireless, which was great.
No more tangled cables.
Mm-hmm.
But the bigger leap, I think, was active noise cancellation. ANC.
Ah, yeah, that's a game changer. It's not just the earbud blocking sound, is it?
No, it's much smarter than that. ANC uses tiny microphones to listen to the noise around you, like a plane engine or people talking, and then it creates an opposite sound wave to digitally cancel it out.
It's like your own private concert, no matter where you are.
Exactly. And all the big companies are fiercely competing to get the best sound quality and the best noise cancellation into the tiniest possible earbud.
Now, what about a place where music is becoming way more interactive? Video games.
Oh, that's one of the most exciting areas. Game music isn't like a normal song. It changes based on what you, the player, are doing.
So if you're exploring, the music is calm.
Right, it's ambient and peaceful. But the second you get into a battle, the music can instantly shift. It gets faster, louder, more intense.
That must be a really interesting challenge for a composer.
It's a huge challenge. You're not writing one song. You're writing all these different layers or stems that the game's engine can mix and loop and transition between at any moment seamlessly.
And it's not just the music, it's all the sound effects, too. The footsteps, the weather.
All of that sound design is critical for making those virtual worlds feel real, truly immersive.
Okay, we've covered the past and present. Let's look at what's coming next. You can't talk about technology without talking about AI.
Artificial intelligence, yeah.
Yeah.
And it's already making its way into music in a big way.
On the production side, I hear it's being used to clean up old recordings.
It is. It's amazing at that. It can remove static or hiss from an old track with incredible precision. But the really big conversation is about composition.
AI writing music.
Yes. You can give an AI a simple instruction like, write a sad piano melody in the style of Chopin, and it will generate something new based on the patterns it's learned from analyzing millions of songs.
Which raises all sorts of questions about what originality even means.
And about copyright, too. Is AI just a tool to help a human artist, or could it replace them? Most people see it as a helpful assistant for now, but the technology is moving so fast.
We even have virtual singers now, right? Performing as holograms.
We do. The line between the human artists and the machine is getting blurrier every day.
One thing the internet has definitely made easier is working together.
Oh, global collaboration is just standard now. Geographical barriers are gone. A singer can be in a studio in London.
And send the file instantly to a producer in New York.
Exactly. They can work on the same project in real time, see each other on video calls. A hit song can be made by people who are on different continents and have never even met in person.
But before we get too far into the future, there's a weird thing happening, isn't there? The comeback of something very old.
Analog media,
Yeah.
vinyl records.
Yeah, despite all this amazing digital convenience, vinyl sales are through the roof.
It's a really fascinating counter movement. For some people, it's not just about the sound. They like the physical ritual of it, taking the record out, placing the needle.
The big album art.
The big art, yeah. It's a more focused, intentional way of listening, I think. It shows that the old and the new can absolutely coexist.
So looking forward, what's the next big thing that will change how we listen?
I think it's about making the sound truly immersive. We're seeing it with things like spatial audio.
Which is more than just stereo, right?
Much more. It makes it sound like the music is coming from all around you, above you, behind you, like you're in the middle of it.
And that's connecting with things like virtual reality, so you could virtually attend a concert from your living room.
Or even stand inside the studio while your favorite album is being mixed. We might even see interactive albums, where you, the listener, can control the mix, turn up the bass, turn down the vocals.
So you become part of the creation process?
In a way, yeah. Digital tech has just completely reshaped every single part of music, from how it's born in a bedroom to how it's heard all over the world.
And as we move forward with AI that can compose and VR that can put you on stage, what's the one thing the human artist will do that a machine can't? I think that's the big question this all leaves us with.
See you next time.